Good morning, my people. My name is Chief Strongblood. I am St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and most hated son, the diaspora machismo. My people, all in all, it has been another beautiful day for a protest, and I enjoyed every moment of my protest. Let me first remind you, the front of my sign says, I don't want the white man's money, the white man's woman, the white man's friendship, and or the white man's fame. And the reverse of my sign says, white man, why have you enslaved the African American, the Latinos, etc.? It has been another beautiful day for protests, but there is nothing particularly interesting that I should bring to your attention as it relates to my protests. And as you know, when I have protested and I've brought you an update as to what transpired while I protested, it is always my pleasure and my delight to bring you something of a social nature as it relates to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. My people, it is reported that Mr. Wickham, the pollster from Barbados, was on, I think, as one of the radio stations in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and he said some political observers says that Gonsalves, meaning Ralph Gonsalves, is preparing his argument for an uplift of violence. And he further said that Gonsalves is basing his argument on foreign entities who supports the New Democratic Party, who are interested in citizenship by investment, will cause violence in our country. And he also said that criminals from Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana, who the countries which are impacted by US sanctions, will come to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Let me tell you something. The first thing I want you to understand, right? No foreign investors is going to the trouble in investing money into causing unrest in St. Vincent and the Grenadines so that they can get citizenship by investment. It doesn't make sense. St. Vincent is not an attractive place for foreigners to invest their monies. We are in the hurricane belt, uncertainty for business, and we have an active volcano that could erupt at any time. So unless those people are trying to get citizenship by investment in order to get a passport so they can go to a developed country, America, England and so forth, Canada, then you can consider that. But when we also consider that Canada and England have already put restrictions on issuing visas for Vincentians going there, it doesn't make sense. If you notice something, Ralph Gonsalves also said, or he accredited the violence uplift in St. Vincent and the Grenadines just prior to the general election may come from citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and Guyana, and it was result from the fact that the US have put sanctions on those countries. If you notice, he did not mention Jamaica, because the same problem Guyana and Trinidad and Tobago are experiencing is the same problem that is affecting Jamaica. Not necessarily the exact problem, but it all have to do with the American new policies. Any uplift or any sudden eruption of violence in St. Vincent and the Grenadines will be as a result of Gonsalves' action to make Vincentians feel insecure and put that alleged insecurity on the New Democratic Party's head. Let me tell you something that you don't know. And I know so much things that you don't know. And when I tell you this, you're going to forget it again. But I will keep them here. Just prior to the 2001 general election in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, what most of you don't know is that Ralph Gonsalves said that he was going to make St. Vincent and the Grenadines ungovernable. And he meant everything that he said. You see, he started with the roadblock revolution. But that was only the first part of his plan. Let me tell you something. Ralph Gonsalves had several groups in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, two of which I knew of. Because two of my friends, my childhood friends, were a part of two of these groups, and they told me about it. In 2001, just prior to the general election, days before the general election in March, Ralph Gonsalves had FAMO. You know, we all know FAMO from Layu. He had a group of men. One of my childhood friends was in that group. And that group of men was given firearm just in case the New Democratic Party would have won the election in St. Vincent and the Grenadines in 2001 to go out and wreak havoc on the streets in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Shoot people at will, because it was his intention to cause a violent eruption in St. Vincent and the Grenadines based on politics. The second group, Ralph Gonsalves dealt with this group himself. He gave them several jerry cans of gasoline, and he told them if he lose the general election, that they must go and they must set Bonadie Supermarket 1 and 2 on fire. They must also set Veria Supermarket on fire. That would have been 3 outbreaks of gas fires in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, in the city of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Ralph Gonsalves don't care about anyone. All he cares about is being in power. And he will do anything in his power to remain Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that means even causing an uprising of violence in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and killing Vincentians, innocent Vincentians, he will do it. He planned to do it in 2001. I have the information from people who were participants or who would have been participants in this event. You have to remember, Ralph Gonsalves is a white man. To him and his people all around the world, black people are dispensable. They are not valued anything. We can get rid of a lot and get back a lot. That is why he was willing to take the life of innocent people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to make a statement and to ensure that the New Democratic Party popularity went into the toilets, to scare people into rejecting the New Democratic Party. That is how far he's willing to go. Those are the things he's willing to do. Because, guess what? Your life has no value to Ralph Gonsalves. You have a man in California here named Richard Ross. And this man is afraid that he will go back into a life of obscurity that he lived before I came to California. Because it is my presence in California that has been causing Ralph Gonsalves to pump money into this place, in his pocket, so he can keep me quiet. They can't keep me quiet. I am a Garifuna by nature. Garifuna by training. They can't keep me quiet. I am not afraid of anyone or anything. My name is Chief Strongblad, St. Vincent and the Grenadines' favorite and motivated son, the Diaspora Machismo. I want you to like, share this video and subscribe to this channel. I'll talk to you soon.